I know you're about to release the part 2 of that, correct?
Yes.
All right. So without getting too much or telling too much of the details in part 2, what can the audience expect in part 2?
Oh yeah. So if the first book is like a 100 level course, the book 2 is like a 200 level course. Takes it up a notch. I believe at this point, some people are more sophisticated in their learning. They know a little bit more about the basics of Bitcoin, but we're taking it up a notch, teaching people how to set up nodes, lightning nodes, teaching people how to, or the book discusses how to set up your own private wallet using command line. It also goes into more geopolitical stuff because the first book focused on our community, but as the Black community, every leader we've ever had has said we need allies. And I think Bitcoin is great for allies because we can have allies we don't even like. We're all working towards the same goal. And I discussed that as far as different countries. Also, too, Bitcoin and marriage. I think that's a topic that nobody is speaking about. And as far as generational wealth in the Black community, Bitcoin with married people, with children, how to get your private keys to your kids or siblings so that they can have your Bitcoin after you pass. Also, too, I've been contacted by judges who have a divorce case, and they're like, the wife is saying he has a bunch of Bitcoin, but I don't even know what that is. After consulting with them, divorce is hopefully it doesn't happen. But for those who it does, your rights, the laws in different states, and also too, not just that, but also how your family can benefit if you do happen to pass before. Because there's a lot of people that have lost Bitcoin just due to death. It's gone. Nobody can find it. None of their family members knew about it. And in the Black community, we can't afford that. You should literally be telling everybody in your family so that your Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is safe for generations to come. A lot of that is in the book. And again, in the second version, it's a little bit more advanced, but not too much where, it'll lose you. And also I give stories about the book tour in the first chapter. The first chapter of the first book, I just described my journey to that point. First chapter of the second book, I talk about the book tour, some of the pushback from people on tour, some of the things I saw in person as far as teaching people. So a lot of good stuff in that second book. Absolutely.
All right. So this leads up to really my first real question. And it's the name of this Zoom meeting that we're having here, this interview. Mm-hmm. What is the importance of crypto, especially to our culture? And what is the pushback, like you said, some of the challenges that you had while trying to teach our people the importance of this?
Oh, yeah. So at this point in our history, the importance of crypto is basically like this. A lot of people say it's very risky to own crypto. In my opinion, it's risky if you do not own crypto at this point, simply because for our community, one of the biggest things is the ability to have censorship-resistant money that can't be taken from you. And in our community with Black Wall Street, the eminent domain, with gentrification, with redlining, we've had so much wealth taken from us that we didn't control. This is the first time in American history that we can own our wealth and nobody can take it from us. So that's the first thing. So if you're watching this and you're saying to yourself, throughout history, we've been done wrong and the rich just keep getting richer. There's a reason for that because we have done the work, we have achieved, we have done the things necessary to make money, but then they get snatched with some of these nefarious acts. Can't do that with Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. And I think that some of the obstacles I got were based or rooted in our historical, some of our history, I should say. For one, we've had a lot of snake oil salesmen show up to our community and say, I have the thing that's going to save us all. And that's bullshit. It's just like, no, it's that. What are you talking about? We've had that for years. We also have a older community who a lot of times they aren't up to speed on the tech part of it. So they're like, I'm not about to try and figure out something. I'm retired. I got my money. I'm not about to try and figure out the tech side of it because Bitcoin's marketing was sort of, the white boy in a hoodie in his mom's basement coding away on a computer. That's sort of how Bitcoin was perceived to start. So that's what people think. And I also think in our community, a lot of times owning assets is not at the forefront of our financial plan. Our forefront is how much money can I make? How much money can I make? And it's like, well, what do you own? And ownership is so important, not just in physical assets, but digital assets. So I think that history in our community You know, of course, with the media fear, you know, and doubt, they're basically pushing out this narrative that Bitcoin is bad, or it's for drug dealers, or it's whatever. And Black people are like, I can't take a chance on doing something. We're more cautious than any group of people in America.
We gotta be.
Gotta be, because I mean, if somebody's gonna point the finger, it's usually gonna point towards us first. Like, look at them over there doing this thing, and that's how, you know, we get in trouble. So I think all of those things, you know, were attributed to Black people not wanting to get in it. And the only pushbacks I've gotten from people in person, for most people, is that they don't really think that Bitcoin will succeed long term because of regulations. And I want to say this for the Black community: our government and the regulations and the police, everything that has sort of kept us in this box, those things don't matter in a decentralized world. They matter in this world, but going towards the future in a decentralized world doesn't matter. So when people say, well, I want to get into it, but if they regulate it, what's going to happen? Well, think about it this way. Prohibition did not work because they tried to regulate alcohol. What happened to the price of alcohol? Skyrocketed.
Yep.
Skyrocketed. And who were the first people to deal with alcohol? Criminals. So if you follow the same thing, people on Silk Road that were selling drugs for Bitcoin, criminals get it first. It's a zero-sum game for them. They got to be a step ahead. But then when everybody else starts using it and they realize, oh, this isn't bad. We got Budweiser commercials now, people. Same thing's gonna happen with Bitcoin. 10, 20 years, you're gonna have Bitcoin commercials. People are gonna be telling you, oh yeah, it used to be perceived this way, but that's what it is. So I think with Black people, it's mostly regulations they worry about, or somebody coming and taking it away from them, which is ingrained in a lot of our elders and our parents. So that's sort of what we got taught. But this new generation, we gotta take hold and change that.
And it's funny that you say that, because how I learned about Bitcoin was through a show called Vice News, and it was said that it was the hacker's coin. You know what I mean? And that's the black market money. So it's funny that you say that.
Oh yeah, and mainstream media does a great job of kind of twisting what crypto is used for, because it's money. Anybody can use it. So of course there's people that's gonna use it for illicit stuff. That's anything that's valuable, somebody is gonna do it for illicit things, but they push that to the forefront so that when people look at the big name media places, that's the only message you get, unfortunately.
Chris or Moody or Keith, y'all got something y'all want to add right quick?
Yeah, I got a question. How do you see the current crypto market as of now? And do you believe that there's still some upside on this bull run with all the institutional adoptions going on right now?
Yes. So quick gem for everybody watching. I have clients, consultants, billionaires, millionaires, people that I speak with. They're buying Bitcoin every single day because they realize what's coming. And for people, I always tell people the biggest investors usually are people who are too broke to care or too rich to care. It's the people in the middle class that are scared. Like, man, I got my house. I finally got my little, insurance, my family. I don't want to lose anything. That's the problem. I know rich people who are buying Bitcoin like it's literally going out of style every day. They're buying as much as possible. And when I think about the market, what's happening is, if you've seen the last 2 months, we've had sideways accumulation. That is a big indicator that whales are buying Bitcoin at a certain price, because the volatility stays relatively zero when big accumulation is happening. And then I guarantee you in the next month, you're going to start seeing big companies say, oh yeah, we purchased 100,000 Bitcoin at 30K. We purchased, but they're not going to tell you when it's happening. When the price goes past 50, 60, all of a sudden they're going to say, yeah, we bought it way back then. What are you waiting for? And that's when you get, investors to buy the top. So my view of the market is we'll be at 6 figures by the end of the year. And I think that for most people, that's sort of surprising to hear, but but it's just simple math. There's not a lot of supply. I work with over-the-counter markets, OTC markets. A great indicator about supply is when I talk to brokers, some of the ones I've dealt with, they'll tell you, they'll say, hey, when big rich people are buying at these levels, there is nothing stopping the price from going up, because there's going to be a supply shock. It's going to be hard for regular people to get it. And so that's why I'm pretty confident as far as price and as far as the technology. It's been proven. It's open source. I mean, as far as cryptocurrencies go, they follow the wave of Bitcoin. So they're just getting started. So I see a lot of upside for all of those, Kelvin. I appreciate that question.
So what he just said was, get in position.
Here now.
The key word the key word that he just used was price shock. Nobody is paying attention to price shock because the availability of Bitcoin is dropping. People think that Bitcoin is going to be available forever. It's not. People think that cryptocurrency is going to be available forever, when really cryptocurrency was created for a finite supply.
Yep.
So that price shock is going to be very real.
Yeah.
Very real.
And if we talk about supply, it's 21 million total Bitcoins that's programmed into it, right? But Satoshi's wallet has 1 million. There's holders, 80% of holders haven't sold since 2017. There's lost coins, which is supposedly around 2 or 3 million. And then there's also the fact that the last or 99% of the supply will be mined by the year 2050. So even though we have until 2140 when it finishes, 2050 is not very far. That's 30 years. That's how like. So and when people talk about supply shock, again, like he was saying, when it happens and nobody can get it, that's what happens with bids. All of a sudden you're going to see, like we had earlier this year, we had a 10,000 candle down, 10,000 candle up. I guarantee you we're going to have days like that more frequently when this supply shock happens. And I mean more as far as up, because exchanges don't have it. I don't have it. We can't sell it to you. All right, well, if you can't sell it, double the price, triple the price. Like it's going to happen pretty fast. You just got to get in position now. I try to tell people, get at least 1 Bitcoin before 2024, which is the next happening. And you probably will set your family up for life. Even if you can't get 1 Bitcoin, as close as possible.
Cool. That's good. And, I always wonder how many do I actually need to own to be set up, But this is the segue to the next question I had. Being that Bitcoin is more of an asset and we're going to be heading to a digital currency, right? And Bitcoin was supposed to be the original peer-to-peer. How do you see money being spent, or what is your vision of money being spent? Because if Bitcoin is an asset, I don't want to sell my asset just to buy a burger. You know what I mean? How do you see that happening in the future, or like, what do you envision like the currency to be?
Oh yeah. So we know there's 3 steps to money. First is the store of value. Bitcoin has proven that, right? The next is the medium of exchange era. I think we get that in the next 10 years, right? So what I mean by medium of exchange, of course, for people is buying goods. But with Bitcoin, the word Bitcoin, I think, will not be used in 10 years. People will be talking about Satoshis because that's all they'll really be able to get. And because of our economy, the inflation rate is ridiculous. The spending power is going down for a lot of people in the fiat system. And Bitcoin is the opposite. Spending power increases as time goes on, right? So for those of you who say, I don't want to spend it, it's an asset, I believe there's going to be a point where business owners and suppliers, supply chain people will say, hey, I want Bitcoin instead of this fiat currency because I know it's inflated, it's going to go away. And then we're going to say, well, I don't want to spend my Bitcoin unless you give me a real big discount, 70, 80, 90%. I think that day is coming. And when we get those 80, 90% discounts for using Bitcoin, that's when you'll start spending Satoshis on something like the Lightning Network or Liquid Network or whatever is built on top of Bitcoin as far as layer 2. That is the medium of exchange. But I think we're about 10 years out from that, because you're right. As an asset, you're correct. And even as far as spending it, you don't have to spend it at this point because you can use your Bitcoin as collateral, right? They have collateralized loans, BlockFi, Celsius, Nexo, Unchained Capital, where you can take your Bitcoin and, like a house, you can put it up as collateral, get a cash loan for yourself or your business. And then when you pay back that loan, you get back your Bitcoin. So you never have to sell it or spend it if you don't want to. That's the good thing about it. It's so many options. Like other forms of money are limited, but Bitcoin isn't. So I think that era is coming, in the future. But right now, it is best to buy and hold. You don't want to be like me and buy a $900 burrito like I did in 2016.
So you one of the pizza guys then, huh?
Yeah. On a smaller scale, yeah. So and I mean, it was fun because I'm a big proponent of spreading it around so that people understand how it works. I used to give away $20 worth of Bitcoin to everybody I spoke to back in 2015. Which was 0.1 Bitcoin back then.
Yeah, man, that's crazy.
I don't know how much I give it away total. I know it's in the 6-figure range, but 0.1 Bitcoin today is 3,000. So
Wow.
exactly. So I mean, as far as spreading the wealth and giving it away, I've done that a lot. And I think you don't need to do it, whoever's watching, and you all don't need to do it. But as far as an asset, holding is the best bet.
Cool.
I got a question.
Mhm.
Decentralized or centralized?
Definitely decentralized. And the reason I say that is even centralized exchange owners are going to decentralized. For example, Jack Dorsey, who owns Twitter and Square, a good friend of mine, Jack literally just started a DeFi on Bitcoin fund. So he's trying to get developers to build decentralized applications, and he has a centralized exchange. He has Cash App. He has Bitcoin on there. He knows their day is coming where people are like, I'm not trying to KYC and put all my information and all of these things that you have to do in order to interact with crypto. I'm going the DeFi route. And I think more people are starting to realize that because when you use DeFi, when you log on to a DeFi site or a DeFi wallet and you can instantly press buy and there's nothing stopping you from it, the freedom to feel centralized, I think centralized exchanges are gone. Except for, you know, they're a bridge to that future because it will take a while to build out DeFi, but DeFi definitely. I mean, that's the goal. And if you don't know what DeFi, decentralized finance, brings, especially for the Black community, we have always been given higher rates or subprime loans whenever we go to banks for a lot of these loans. With DeFi, none of that matters. Your race, your age, your zip code, all of the things that were used against us before are gone because now it's just, do you have the collateral or not? Do you have the crypto or not? That's it. If you have it, you go with it.
Facts.
So that is why I think DeFi is going to take off because it's not just our community, that's all around the world.
Right. So now that we say DeFi, I just seen a question come up, a question posed earlier. Do you think that the names should be attached to the wallets, or do you think they should be nameless and remain nameless?
Nameless. Nobody needs to know who you are for money to work. That's the lie we've been told our whole life. I need to know your information in order for you to use your money. No, you don't. That's why peer-to-peer is so important. And I think that there's an option for that if you want to use a third party, because there are some people that they don't want to deal with the freedom of having their own wallets and just keeping it off. But it's better if you do not have to require names. However, with regulators and people looking at getting shut down, they're gonna still implement it for a while, but I think at some point it'll be nameless. It'll just be transactions between whoever around the world. Cool. The way it was when I first started.
Right.
I had a question. You mentioned earlier about the older generation, which I'm a part of, and how we were brought up especially from the industrial age. Back when we had more, U.S. manufacturing, whatnot. The old adage was go out, get a job, work till you're 60 or 65 and retire. I'm actually 7 working days from retiring.
Wow,
congrats. Yeah, thank you, appreciate it. After working 30 years for state government. And the thing that's hard for my contemporaries to wrap their mind around is the fact that I'm still 53. They're like, how are you retiring at 53? What are you going to do? How are you going to live? And so I mentioned, listen, you need to let me sit down and talk to you about cryptocurrency and about Bitcoin. That's too risky. I don't. So my thing is, I want that to be my plan of action when I retire, is to help people like me, because I know it's going to help them, their families, their grandkids, their 401ks that they're getting. They want to know what to do with it. I don't want them sitting money in the bank and just losing money. Like my mom told me she had a large sum of money in her savings account. She's complaining right now because the last statement she got, she didn't make anything with it. So she's like, why do I have this 5 figures in the bank? They're not gonna give me the money for it. So what do you think would be my best way to get this information across where it would actually gel with them, as far as getting them to be open to it?
Okay. So first things, I'll try and hook you up with Granny Crypto. She's one of our moderators for Black Bitcoin Billionaires. She does this every week, so maybe we can have you on to speak about it. But when I speak with older people, one of the best things biggest things I bring up is inflation, because older people have seen inflation way more than people my age. I can explain it to a 30-year-old and they're like, well, yeah, I understand, but it's not that bad. You talk to somebody in the 50s and 60s, you start asking questions. How much was a burger when you were a kid? How much was a movie? How much were cars? Why do you think the price went up? I mean, things didn't necessarily get better. Why is the price increasing? Our economy is built so that the money that you've earned, it's not worth as much later. And the problem with saving and savings accounts is that savings rate does not beat inflation ever. Banks are on average of 0.06%,
Yeah.
and the inflation rate is moving towards 15 to 20. So you can't beat inflation with a savings account. So that's the first thing. When people see that, they're like, "Yo, prices did go up. The cost of living went up. It's always going up, but I'm making generally the same amount of money. What do I do about it?" That's how I got a lot of older people to realize you need to put your money in an asset that beats inflation. And because of that, you need to understand that your time was stolen, not just money. Your time was stolen. You worked all those hours, all those years, just for them to print money out of the blue, and inflation made your cost of living increase. I mean, that's literally what it is. And I think a lot of older people still trust the government to an extent because in that era, the government was a little bit smaller. It wasn't as much media that will push forward a lot of the propaganda we have now. So getting them to not think about the government in a certain way that they're going to save you, that is kind of hard. But I use that with my grandmother and others. I would say, hey, you got to stop thinking the government's going to save you. It's on you. You know what I mean? Like, you have to do it for yourself. So I would say go talk about inflation, and then also too, as far as a retirement account, show the returns on Bitcoin versus a regular retirement account. Most people will be like, this is insane. I've been making 8% a year when with Bitcoin, compound annual growth rate is 200%. Why do I not have at least a little Bitcoin? And I always end it with, your grandkids will thank you. And then usually that's sentimental enough to get them in. But,
yeah, perfect.
Absolutely.
Because honestly, absolutely. And I tell people all the time, if you don't have any Bitcoin, any cryptocurrency, your grandkids are probably going to laugh at you. Or not like you. They're going to say, you mean to tell me during the greatest wealth transfer of your lifetime, you could have took advantage of it and did nothing? Oh, get out of here, Grandpa. I don't want to listen to that.
So this is the perfect question I have for you. Mm-hmm. Now, being that Bitcoin is so volatile right now, right? Mm-hmm. What asset, as far as cryptocurrency, would you say to, okay, I'm making my money, instead of putting it in this savings, what asset besides, I know you would say buy some Bitcoin. Mm-hmm. Is there another asset that you would say so it won't be so up and down, to where I can see my money just, potentially grow?
Besides a stable coin?
Yeah.
So what I would say is volatility, the word that you use. Volatility is good. It is volatile up and to the right. And that's what Bitcoin is. It is volatile. It does have swings, but you have to look at it on a long-term preference. So I would say, as far as assets, Bitcoin is the best performing asset of all time. So it's nothing really beating it. But if there was an asset to put it into that you would want to see long-term, I would say right now, commodities. Pretty much any commodity is going up in price. Actually, housing and everything else is going up in price because the value of the dollar is going down. Right. And that's what rich people figured out, is that, okay, I have all this money, but because of inflation, no matter what I buy, it's going to increase in value over time. Every market is volatile to a certain extent, but what can I put it in that's actually beating inflation long term? Bitcoin is number one. I would say commodities. And then I would say investing in yourself would be number three. Get skills that can earn you money, because a lot of people invest in assets and other things. But if you don't have any skills to earn the money to buy those assets, it's kind of a moot point. So I would say also investing in yourself, because you are here for as long as you are, and your volatility is based on you. So you actually control that volatility.
Cool, man. I appreciate that. So when, let's say, for example, we have these platforms where you can stake these coins and you can get like 15, 20%. Yep. Do you believe in the stable coins, either just starting to build your savings within a stable coin and stake it, or a particular coin, or you know what I mean? Like
So I would say for stable coins, absolutely. Banks are done. Let me just say that now, because the fact that you can take your dollars, put it in a stable, you can stake it for 7-8%. Why would you ever keep it in a bank? We just need the education for people to figure that out. It's no reason to have it in a bank. So yes, absolutely. Stable coins, USDC is a good one I've seen. I don't mess with Tether. I kind of know some behind the scenes stuff with Tether. Brock Pierce, he was a presidential candidate. He's a good friend of mine. He told me a lot of things that happened with Tether. So it's good enough to use, but I just don't deal with it. But as far as stable coins, absolutely. Staking is great for passive income. For those of you who understand about having residual income, if you have a savings account, you literally are just printing money at that point. And then I would say, as far as technology goes, Ethereum, as far as another digital asset, will be valuable for people who use Ethereum. So for example, for people who buy it and they speculate, that's fine. However, I feel as though people who buy Ethereum and do stuff with it, as far as buy digital land in the metaverse, you can actually buy digital real estate that I guarantee is going to be
We all look. Chris own a lot. We own some too.
That's what I'm saying. I tell people, it's like digital real estate. I've been talking with sponsors about digital real estate because I'm trying to build out my own thing down on Crypto Voxels. And what I've gotten as a response is that we're waiting for it to develop more, but we can see the metaverse getting just as much sponsorship as TV shows, commercials. Because think about it, when you got millions of kids in virtual reality, and virtual reality hasn't even caught up yet. The glasses are still kind of clunky. They're not, you know.
My goodness. You sound like Chris right now. You sound like Chris. This is crazy.
That means he's done his research. That's what I'm saying. I mean, digital real estate right now for 0.1 Ethereum, which is $200 right now.
So are you saying?
I think it's $200 right now.
Are you on Super World?
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Those are great things to have as assets, because long term people will use Ethereum. They will have to constantly buy it to keep buying these assets. And long term, I just think digital real estate will outdo physical. The upkeep is less. There's less paperwork. There's no third parties, and kids use it. Kids buy way more stuff than we do. So
yeah.
You have to think about the kids market. My 9-year-old, I've talked to him all the time. I just showed him the metaverse, and he's asking me, like, you know, why didn't I know about this before? Or, you know, what
right.
Can I buy it? And I was like, it's not there yet. But I was like, you're seeing, basically, you get to see the future, basically. 5 years from now, it'll be pretty much plug and play. Yeah, I think those things are awesome.
So so this is just a quick question. Are you like so Dorsey and Cabana are now doing the what's the word?
NFT wearables.
NFT.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
The NFT wearables. What is your opinion on that?
Oh man, well, I think NFTs, as far as being able to transfer a unique asset from one place to another, great value proposition, especially for video games, because when you can buy wearables and you can take them from one game, put them on another, I promise you. And then when you can resell them to somebody else for a higher price, that's even more. So for video games, I actually just, my show tomorrow, I just interviewed a guy who created something called Axie Infinity. And Axies are...
Oh my God.
We just listen.
Hey, y'all don't even need me on this call no more. Dude just confirmed everything that we are doing right now.
Oh my
It's
God.
funny you said that, because we literally just talked about Axis, the video game, and the governance token that they have.
Token that we just got a crap load of the governance tokens that they got.
Nice.
So,
well, tomorrow, tune into Community Crypto. I talk with the CEO.
We're definitely gonna be there for that.
Oh my goodness,
yeah.
that's
So
crazy.
he explains it, and for those who are watching Axie Infinity, you can earn crypto for playing games.
Yeah.
And they introduced this during the pandemic in countries where they were hit the hardest, like the Philippines. And there were people earning $300, $400 a month worth of crypto that had never seen crypto or heard about it before, but it's survival, right? So if I can play games to earn money, that's
I'm
the
gonna do
survival
it.
aspect. And then it's going to move towards the fun aspect. When kids start doing it, which I'm teaching a summer camp right now, they're going to be playing Axie Infinity next Monday. When they figure that out, that's going to blow up huge. So
that's all Chris been talking about too.
Man, hey,
that's crazy.
I'm gonna tell you, for everybody who is listening in to this, he is truly dropping dimes. Or, excuse me, I can't even say dimes. He's dropping diamonds. Literally diamonds. If you want to be able to get you some diamonds, you better listen to what he's saying right now, because
hopefully it's worth more than 50,000.
Right.
Hey, but when we're buying these assets, right, in the digital world, are we creating taxable events for ourselves? So like say if you're buying a meme coin or something like that and you bought Ethereum and you're swapping for another coin, is that still a taxable event?
Yes, by the tax code that is now, it is a taxable event. However, the loophole to that that's basically about to come is the fact that how can you tax software? And how can you tax something that before was never written? So the tax law is outdated. Working with my tax people and my guy CJ, the smart guy, shout out to him. It is a taxable event currently. I'm not telling anybody to break the law. What I'm saying is, are you going to pay taxes on something when, and then 2 years, 3 years later, the value of that cryptocurrency has gone up? Are they going to give you a refund on the value of what you gave them? Or when the value goes down, are they going to give you a no? So I would say the decision there is based on you. I always tell people, if you're not moving tens of thousands of dollars worth of crypto, talk with your tax professional. But I would just say the amount of work you have to do just to operate within the digital world, just because it's cryptocurrency, is ridiculous. And I think that that tax code will have to be changed. It's outdated. It was written in the 1920s, 1930s. And everything that comes from that, they never expected something like this. That's how you could tell this was something brand new, because they never even expected, even with the internet coming, they never even thought about, well, somebody will have internet money one day. So as far as taxable, yes, it is currently. But again, I would say hold off for a lot of people who are doing small transactions. You don't need to declare your $60 worth of crypto that you I mean, it's not, worth happening, man. Like, and it with kids as well. Like, are you gonna tax kids that use it? Come on, man. It's a lot that has to change with that tax code.
So I do have a question, and since he said that meme coins, do you believe in any of the meme coins, or do you just, it's just a fad that's going right now? Hey, you ain't studying it. What do you think about meme coins?
Yeah, so it is a fad, but every cycle is a fad. Every 2013, when I first started, everything was all Bitcoin, whatever. But then 2017, if you remember, ICOs was the big thing. It was a big fad. Everybody's going into it. This year, or 2018, DeFi was the big fad. They call it DeFi Summer, 2019, I believe, 2020. And this year is going into meme coins. And the reason why, two things. For one, on one side, it's not real money. It's speculative. It's whatever. But I understand how when something is popular today, it can have value, because TikTok and all these other social media sites that have kids talking about meme coins, and college students, they're going to put something into it. I just hope they don't lose a lot of money on it, because they are pump and dumps, most of them. And as far as people making money, it's nothing against making money. It's just, as far as risk, your risk assessment, if you're older and I know what I'm doing with my money, you probably already have this. But if I was 19 and I was like, I'm trying to make $1,000 tomorrow, they don't think about risk. Like, right. So they're going to keep getting people into meme coins. Hopefully Elon can shut the hell up at some point, because he's leading people down this path. I mean, I don't know if you all saw it today, but he was on today talking with Jack Dorsey. He didn't know what in the world he was talking about.
We was watching before we got ready for the interview.
Yeah,
he doesn't know. He does not know. I wish people would stop giving that man so much credit. He knows absolutely nothing about cryptocurrency whatsoever.
Yeah. And I mean, I even tweeted this out. I was like, I can't wait till I'm a billionaire so I can just use my past.
Say whatever.
To say whatever. Like, oh yeah, I know this new technology. No research. Just buy. I know what I'm talking about. Remember that time before? Like, come on, man. Past performance does not equal future results. Trust me.
Man, this is a great conversation, just to get a chance to sit down and talk with you, because some of the stuff that you are putting out, the information, is letting us know we're on the right track.
Exactly.
And that goes into my next question. Outside of your book, what is a platform that somebody can use, an educational tool, to help them learn in this crypto space about any of the information that we're talking about?
So I would say our daily show, we answer questions on there. The Gentleman of Crypto, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. We've also just released our first masterclass, where it covers everything NFTs, the digital world. It talks about the history of Bitcoin, the history of money. It talks about the Bitcoin economic theory with things like Moore's Law. and and how we can move from, you know, Gresham's law and all of that stuff. It breaks down what money is. It goes into different cryptocurrencies, tells you how to stake. It shows you yield farming, shows you trading. Literally, the masterclass is a brain dump of me and my business partner. We have combined 14 years of experience. So I would say for those of you who want to learn everything you can at one time, that masterclass is available. It does cost a good amount, but if you want something for free, I would say YouTube is your best bet. Check out Crypto Blood, another Black guy who has a great channel. Crypto Kenzie, another Black guy who has a great channel. His is Crypto and Culture. And as far as podcasts, listen to podcasts like Anthony Pompliano, Pomp, as people know him, his podcast, Peter McCormick, What Bitcoin Did. You have to immerse yourself into the space. And if you need a starter website, the best starter website I've seen is lop.net, LOPP.net. He's a big developer. He's in Raleigh, North Carolina. Been in Bitcoin since 2011. If you go to the Bitcoin resources page, a lot of people who came in when I did 2013 learned from him. Him and Andreas Antonopoulos. Those are probably the two biggest people. So Jameson Lop, if you look him up, lop.net. Go to Bitcoin resources and it has everything there from mining to Lightning Network to everything else. It doesn't talk about other cryptocurrencies, but that's why I gave those other resources.
So I know you just said something about yield farming. We're all doing yield farming right now.
Yes.
What are you? Shout out to Chris for that. I appreciate you, Chris. What are you yield farming right now? If you don't mind us probably getting in your business.
Oh, well, I'm actually not. My business partner is big time. He's yield farming in, what was the one he told me? Titan, a few other ones. It's a bunch, but I'm more focused right now on the digital real estate angle. Just because I'm working with a lot of people who are trying to build NFTs and they need to house them somewhere. So I'm focused on that more right now. But yeah, yield farming.
You don't want to throw out them digital real estate. You know what I'm saying? You want to go ahead and throw out those platforms. So
yeah, absolutely. So crypto voxels, crypto VOXELS. They have new plots of land once a week. You can get on there, bid on it first. Most of the land is somewhere between 0.1 Ethereum to 0.3. Still very cheap, but there's things on there already like the Black Arts District. Black Arts District is built out. It's a bunch of Black artists who have NFTs there. You visit the Metaverse, it's a digital museum. Click on their art and you can buy it straight through OpenSea. So it's very, to the point. And I think that's where we're headed. I don't think you can't get 1 million people in a museum, but you can in the Metaverse. So that's why digital real estate is great. Also speaking with musicians, them having, and executives, they have listening parties and concerts and all these things where the logistics, you got to pay the promoter, you got to pay for tickets, you got to pay. How about we just have a link to a Metaverse? How easy is that? Everybody show up, listening party, and you can have everybody from around the world. So that's Crypto Voxels building that now. Also Decentralized. Decentralized is a good one as well. Get you some mana. There's somebody that just bought a plot of land for $800,000 on Decentralized. So when I tell you digital real estate will probably pass physical real estate, I'm not saying it tongue in cheek. I'm really serious. I think our world is going virtual, and owning that land, sitting on it, and then keeping it forever. Your kids can have it after you, because these digital worlds aren't going away. So those are the two main platforms I use.
And to give everybody a great example of what he's talking about, whether y'all want to say his movie was good or not, Space Jam 2, he pretty much just gave you a perfect example of how the metaverse is going to look.
Yep.
You might not get zapped into your phone, but that's how it's going to look.
Real quick.
Well, Avatar. Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Do you know about NFT-Fi?
NFT-Fi? I've heard I've heard the term, but I've also heard green NFTs. I've heard there's a lot of NFT stuff coming out now. And actually, I don't know if this is too racy for the platform. No. Okay, all right. But it's a guy I met. OnlyFans is taking away adult content. He actually came up with NFTs.
Yeah. Hey, it ain't no worse than Cum Rocket?
So
the reason why
go ahead.
You can borrow against your crypto voxel land, right?
Yep. Absolutely. And
Just
that's
wanted to put that out there. Just
Yep,
wanted to put that out there right quick.
And see, me and Chris, we're in 2040. Like we so deep.
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking?
Y'all are.
You can buy digital land and you can get a collateralized loan off digital land. Yes, and not just that, but the assets you own. So if you have an NFT and you own this asset and it's worth, let's say, $100,000, you can actually get $50,000 worth of crypto from that NFT, use it as collateral, and then have money to spend. So it's not just JPEGs with a private key. They're very valuable.
when I'm not gonna lie, when Chris first brought this to our attention, at first I was like, man, this guy crazy. Like I'm not fit to get into all of this. I mean, he came with the horses, the digital horses, racing the horse and stuff. I'm like, Morris, look, you can talk to Chris, you can deal with that. I'm gonna focus on this because this is just too crazy for me. And then I saw, so I'm like, why is Chris, he buying blocks, he buying museums, he buying the cities. Like, what is he doing? Like, he's on to something. I mean, one day he just showed us all his stuff. I mean, I hate to say this, Chris, but I'm not going to call the city out because I don't want everybody to know what you're doing. But man, when I tell you, he bought up damn near the whole city, he bought it up. And I'm like, he's doing this for a reason. So as I sat down and talked to him and kind of like understood what it was, and then I'm starting to see the Jacksonville Jaguar Stadium going for like 100,000, like 1,000 Ethereum. I'm like, oh no, we in the wrong business. Like we need to be focused over here for real.
I mean, even this is sort of undercover. Nobody really knows this, but my guy Baron Davis. Right now, Baron Davis is building a NBA museum in the Metaverse as we speak.
Wow. So that means you're on the NBA Top Shots. How do you feel about that, being that we really don't have the license into it, but we still own it? How do you feel about those?
Yeah, mixed feelings because it's a bridge to where we're going. I think that's how they have to start because they do need that to get anything licensed, it's still these centralized ways of doing it. But smart contracts is going to decentralize that. It won't be licensed through the paperwork of the National Basketball Association. No, it'll just be a smart contract, executes, the licensing money goes to whoever does, it executes, it goes to you, whatever. So, I have mixed feelings now, but I can always kind of see where we're going with it. And Top Shots is a great throwback to the past. I mean, I wish I could find those old binders. I used to have hundreds of cards. And my mom threw them away a long time ago, but I used to be like, one day. But now you have the opportunity, and it's even better because it's highlights. And as somebody who's working with right now, a representative for Bill Russell. Bill Russell is actually looking at selling a lot of his memorabilia, championship stuff as well, but it's physical. So it'll have like a digital representation maybe on NBA Top Shot, but it's physical goods. So I think that's the next iteration of it. I like it. I like where we're headed.
What do you think about like if you have an autograph entertainer's card, basketball, or anything, you NFT it yourself? Like, how would you handle that? And is that possible?
Yeah, so for physical NFTs, the reason I like it is you can take a picture of it, put it on there as NFT, people bid, and then you just have to ship it to wherever they want it. Or you can have, that's the thing with physical NFTs, you're sort of doxing yourself as far as location, but you should be fine if you have a PO box. You can still stay pretty private, but yes, you can just take a picture front and back, just like you would for eBay or any other seller's market. The only difference is people are bidding in cryptocurrency, so they can bid from anywhere around the world. That's what I think people misunderstand about NFTs. They're like, well, what's the difference between this and bidding on somewhere else? Ask Sotheby's. They're accepting Bitcoin and Ethereum for 100-carat diamond right now. The reason being, anybody around the world can buy it now, not just people with US dollars.
That's right.
So, I got another question. So if you don't mind, do you know anything about the Avi coin, and what do you think about the Avi coin and being able to borrow against that, borrow against your asset? And as well, if you don't mind to elaborate, if you do, what is your top 3 favorite coins?
Oh yeah. So Aave, yes. So they have the process where you can get collateralized loans with the Aave coin based on the liquidity, right? The only problem I have with some of the DeFi right now is, for one, a lot of their contracts are not audited. Aave has been audited, I believe. So I do like that aspect. But also, too, you want to look at some of these DeFi projects and understand what rehypothecation is. And rehypothecation, all that means is the liquidity that's put into a protocol on the back end they're investing it to make money off of you. Now, that's what banks do right now. Every time you put your money into a bank, they invest it so they can make money off of you. They make 10%, they give 0.06. So it's not like it's a foreign practice. The problem is liquidity. In times of large drawdowns, $5,000, $10,000 candles happen, you can have a lot of people get liquidated. And unfortunately, if they don't have the liquidity to cover it, you could have a failed project overnight. Exactly. So that's my only issue with it. But I do like Aave. I like the things going on in DeFi, definitely. So top 3 coins, I would say Bitcoin, of course, number 1. I would say number 2 is Monero. I've always said if Bitcoin wasn't invented, I would have had Monero. Because
we were just talking about that.
Privacy token.
You can't beat privacy, man. And they're the only privacy coin that's been proven to be completely private. Now there are Zcash and other ones that they're sort of private, but it's to a fault, which is still fine. But ring signatures, which is the algorithm that Monero uses, the actual FBI has a bounty on it if anybody can crack it for $600,000 to crack ring signatures. The funny thing is, if I could crack ring signatures, I'm not taking $600,000.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, I want more than that.
Exactly. I'm going to the Monero community and telling them I can crack ring signatures. I need 10 million in Monero, or it's going down. Like if I was that person, but yeah. So that is completely private. Ring signatures. They still haven't figured it out. That's why you see literally 0 Monero stories. You don't see any media coverage. Because in the background, they understand Monero's as private as it gets, and nobody has figured out how to crack it. So that would be second. And then my third favorite coin, just because of the utility of what I use right now, would probably be Ethereum. But I want to put a hard stop on that. But Solana is coming for that ass. That's all I got. Solana is coming for that.
We told you. Hey, Loretta told us.
That's Loretta's favorite coin right there.
Yeah. So and Sam Bankman-Fried, who runs FTX, he's a big proponent for Solana. And for those watching, if you need a telltale sign of something that's going to succeed, usually billionaires don't lose money. If they got to cheat and get bots to buy it, they're not losing money. And if Sam Bankman-Fried is pushing Solana, he's trying to be the Ethereum competitor, which whenever I have people ask me about investments, they're like, so what's the best investments? I'm like, anything competing against Ethereum, because Ethereum is there. They have the developers, they're built out, but they haven't won. You know what I mean? Bitcoin to me has won as a global monetary system. Totally different, goal. Ethereum hasn't won with smart contracts. They still have gas fee problems. Ethereum 2.0 has to be released. They still got to deal with proof of stake. They still got to deal with the fact that they did have a chain split, and Ethereum Classic and Ethereum are different. So you have to deal with those things with Ethereum, with Solana, with Polkadot, with even Binance Smart Chain. Anything that competes is what you should be looking at as far as long term, because whichever one wins, which I think Solana may be the one, Ethereum's at $2,000. I remember I was buying Ethereum at 12, and I never thought Ethereum would be 1,000. Well, at someday, but not this soon. And with Solana's what, $25?
$25.
I think
y'all better load up.
I think you got the same chance with Solana. Absolutely. And you can stake Solana. So
on Exodus Wallet is giving you like 20% staking or something like that, 15%. So
yeah. And I think when Loretta first told us about Solana, it was around like $1 or something.
Man, that junk was so cheap.
It was like $1 and some change. And I kind of was like, I'll get some later. And then when I started looking into it and she just kept beating it in my head, I'm like, we should have got this a long time ago.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. So those are my top 3.
I had a question, real quick. Back to music NFTs. I'm a musician and producer myself. I also own 2 internet radio stations, one classic hip hop and one smooth jazz and R&B. We also do marketing for some of our artists that are featured in our radio show. And I thought about, would it be a good idea for me to introduce the NFT market to artists who don't know about it yet, especially in smooth jazz, because they don't really know about NFT space. Okay.
They need to hear about it more than anybody else, because what record labels do with the artists that they have, they control all the money that comes in. If I was an independent artist, jazz musician, rapper, whatever, and I wanted to make money, of course, to build myself up, NFT is probably the best way to do it, because for one, not only can you release exclusive things, exclusive stuff. I know a guy right now, he has NFTs out. He sells them usually between $400 and $500 to 100 people. You only need 100 real fans. That's $50,000. Wow. As an independent musician, you can buy more studio time, and then you can do whatever else you need. And then you can put out another NFT. That's it. You only need 100 to 1,000 fans. That's it. You don't need to be a super millionaire, but if you have 1,000 fans and you're putting out $100 worth of NFTs once a year, you're making 6 figures. If you do 1,000, that's 7. And for musicians who have normally not made a lot of money, just hand to hand, going to clubs, doing shows, you can go into the Metaverse, have an NFT of your work, and then people can pay you that way. It's called audio reactive NFTs, exclusive songs that nobody else has heard. They can pay for it there. So you could also you can field concerts there. You can be in your studio, field a concert in the Metaverse. That's free for people to show up, and then you can make up somebody buying those NFTs. So if I was an independent artist, I wouldn't even look at a record label right now. Not even. I mean, it'd be no reason. It's like all I need to do is get 100 true fans. That's it, and then start selling NFTs to them. Because if you have merch, if you have music, if you have tickets, certain tour dates, if you have backstage passes connected into one NFT, yeah, I'll pay $500. You're my favorite artist. That's nothing. And then from there, you start to get a very decentralized music industry, which for Black people needed to happen yesterday. Because we've had so much money taken away from us in the music industry. It's ridiculous. I mean, it's
unreal.
Unreal. And we hear these stories from some of the older musicians, but today they're no better. They're getting taken just bad because there's more money to be made. And it's like, you should almost be if you have 1 million views on a video, you should be a millionaire by the end of the month, technically. But these record labels, they have bots who have fake views, and then they got fake fans, and then they get all the money on the front end. You get this little check on the back end, whatever. So it's always been rigged against, Black artists especially. But I think NFT solves that problem, brother. Definitely.
That's good knowledge. Appreciate you.
So what's next for you? I know you got your book coming up, and I know you got your hands probably in a lot of pots, but what's next for you?
Oh yeah, so Bitcoin in Black America 2, right behind me. That'll be started getting shipped later this month, early next month. I'm teaching the Bitcoin summer camp here in Charlotte, North Carolina. This is our 3rd week coming up on Monday. So I'm teaching that, first one ever in Charlotte. And I'm having my first book tour date in Charlotte as well, July 27th. And I'll be starting my book tour here in August. So the rest of the year is book tour time. So I'll be, I'll release the list, the complete list soon. But right now we got Atlanta, end of the month, LA in August.
End of this month?
End of this month.
What day?
We're looking at the 29th or the 30th. And the site, I'll be there with Hill Harper. I don't know if you.
Yeah, I know Hill Harper. Yeah.
Definitely
let us know, because we're here in Atlanta.
Oh, perfect.
So, and I know we gotta we have to fly out on the 31st to my son Junior Olympics for track. But we're here in Atlanta. We don't leave until the 31st. So
so if I can do 29th, 30th, it'd be perfect to match up and catch up with you all. And the place I'm doing it at, the name is leaving me, but the lady was super nice. I got her into Bitcoin. She has her own spa. She has a couple spas actually, and introduce her to Bitcoin. So I'm thinking of using her spot. The only thing is I don't know if it's big enough. So that's the plan before the end of the week, but I'll let you know. But Atlanta end of the month, LA in August, and California, Sacramento, and San Francisco. September is my East Coast trip. That's when I'll see my people in New York, Philly, Baltimore, down to DC. The Black Blockchain Summit is September 24th. And 25th. So if you can't make it to DC, I will be there as a speaker. And right before that, the 21st, I'll be speaking with The Root. They'll be having an event. I'll be speaking there as well in DC. But then after that, that's the East Coast trip. November, I'm going to Nigeria, and December, Ghana. So it's all booked tour the rest of the year.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Congratulations on that too.
Yeah, we got you at the perfect time then.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Exactly.
Definitely did.
Oh yeah.
Man.
Well, if anybody else got anything else?
Check your message, please.
Nah, I don't have nothing else. I feel like I was just talking to myself, because he just confirmed a lot of the things that I was already doing anyway. Exactly. And what I had been showing them as well. So I just appreciate you even being on with us, man. I really do, man.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's always good to get validation, especially in this crypto world. it's so much information. You're like, what's the correct way?
Right.
And when you found a template and you're like, this works. I know this works, but I don't know if other people know about it. It's good to talk to other people who are on the same exact path. So yeah, shout out to you, brother. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah. So if you had to have a drop the mic moment and you wanted to leave the people with something, what is that? What would you say?
I don't want to make it too dramatic. Let's see. Well, I'll just say this. The price of Bitcoin has no top because the price of fiat has no bottom.
Oh, that was deep. Oh yeah, that was a Ken uppercut right there.
Yeah, hey, Mo, I should have produced. I should have produced the beat behind that.
I was trying to tell you, right?
Throw on the ether beat. Throw the ether beat on the back of that.
Yeah, I like that one. Yeah, I definitely like that, man. I just want to thank you once again for taking the time out to talk to us at Unbroken Mindset, and we just wanted to show the people like this is a lane that you should really be considering when it comes to Bitcoin and when you're trying to educate yourself. And one of the best things that you said in this conversation is invest in yourself, because you're here, you have volatility for the time that you're here. So why not leave something for your family to be able to take advantage of when you're gone? You know what I mean? And I always tell people that like you're investing in yourself, because I know, and Frank will say this, I'm betting on myself. Because I know I ain't gonna lose.
That's exactly what my uncle used to tell me. He was like, he used to say the same thing. He was like, I know what I can do. I don't know. Right. I gotta get you guys some shirts from my guy that's on the show tomorrow. They have this shirt. It's called Non-Fungible Human, and that's the way you should think of yourself. You are an asset. You are a unique asset. One of one. So anything you invest in, it should be as if this asset, myself, is growing. So you should invest in it like you think that.
That's true. So once again, man, thank you for the time.
Appreciate you, bro.
I don't know if anybody has any other questions. Did anybody from the chat ask any questions that maybe?
Man, I've been so tuned
in.
I've been
right. Yeah, he was dropping the knowledge. I wasn't even thinking
Oh yeah.
But yeah, man.
Absolutely. You really know your stuff. This is Bitcoin's A.
Man, y'all better put some respect on his name. It is funny because like it's one of those things where like a lot of people don't know like you are really a big deal when it comes to this crypto. You know what I mean? So
try to keep a low profile, but yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, and like most Bitcoin crypto people, they do keep a low profile. But you guys just was able to sit and get information, get knowledge from one of the gurus of the crypto game. So man, I hope you guys take this in and really listen to it. We're gonna have it posted on the Unbroken Mindset page. So watch it again, because he definitely dropped some gems in this interview. And once again, man, I want to thank you for coming down and speaking with us and doing this interview and allowing us to ask you questions. And it wasn't scripted at all. You know what I mean? Like all the questions I had wrote down kind of went out the door, right? So, man, it definitely was dope, man. And I just appreciate you for taking the time out, because most times you get people that get to a level such as you, they kind of forget the small people, and you have it. And that's a good example that I want people to be able to see. Like this is especially a Black man, somebody looks like me, and he's coming back like, shoot, let me drop this information on y'all. Now, if you don't listen, that's on you, but I'm gonna give it to you. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely appreciate it.
I got one last question. Do you see Bitcoin at 100,000 by the end of the year? And again, thank you for your time.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think Bitcoin will be at 100,000 end of the year. Okay. At least my prediction.
I know I got a little bit up in there. So hey,
I would say my prediction was actually 200. My prediction.
200.
Woo! Unbroken Mindset. Thank you for the opportunity.
For real.
Well, I do have one more question. Do you think that Bitcoin drops below? I think it's sitting at 31. Do you think it drops back down to 20?
If it happens, I wouldn't be surprised because it's the old all-time high of 2017. Just using basic technical analysis, that level is where the most liquidity is, wherever the former all-time high. So if it does happen, this is usually what happens. At those levels, you won't be able to buy it manually. It'll be very quick drawdown, quick wick. It'll be a lot of buying from people who have orders already set, and then it'll go right back up. It'll scare out the people, all the people that weren't serious. Because I can guarantee you, the guy that bought it 40K, 50K, when he sees it going to 20, he's gonna panic. And if he doesn't know what he's doing, he or she, they're gonna panic sell, and they're gonna give it right back to the rich people or to us who are sitting there waiting for it. So I think it's possible to hit those levels, but it's not a point to panic. To me, that is the generational bottom. After that point, if that happens, you already know from that point we're about to skyrocket.
Buying opportunity
around 20,000.
Buying opportunity. He said get at least one. I will be accumulating my one if it get down to that low. So I'm gonna take advantage of that. I ain't gonna
real quick, I want to say if you have Cash App, yesterday they just introduced limit buys where you can put it at a certain level. So
I seen that today when I went on there and it said updated something with Bitcoin, but I didn't look into it.
And that's what, like I said, Jack is my boy. We talk about it all the time. And like I said, to me, he's got the best, the killer app of Bitcoin because he's introducing things like that. So if you got Cash App, which most people do, you can set those orders right now. As soon as you get off, set a buy order at 26, 27, 20, just all the way down. You want to, dollar cost average down, but you're never going to catch the exact bottom. So
one more thing, Isaiah, and I'm just gonna go ahead and throw my net out there. What do you say about giving us another interview like in the next like 3 months to 6 months just to see where cryptocurrency is at and just invite some more people that just joined the cryptocurrency adoption?
Oh yeah, I would love to. Yeah, just let me know. Let's
sure.
do it whenever you're available. Anytime before November or in January, because those 2 months I'm out the country, I'll be kind of busy. But yeah, we can do it again in September. Do it again next year, whatever. See what happened during that time period.
We definitely got to come back and do this again. Next time, when we sit down with the gentlemen of crypto, we're gonna have our little whiskey with that bit blocking the next
time. These are my favorite conversations, talking about Bitcoin with Black people.
For sure.
My favorite conversations. So I appreciate you all, definitely.
No, I appreciate you.
Hey, go ahead and drop your Instagram and your YouTube again to make sure that people follow that.
Twitter, Bitcoin Zay, Instagram, the Isaiah Jackson, YouTube, the Gentleman of Crypto. Find me on there, or bitcoinandblackamerica.com.
And where can we find your book at?
bitcoinandblackamerica.com.
Appreciate
it. As well as Amazon as well.
Amazon, yeah, I ordered off of Amazon.
All right, once again, man, thank you for your time. Hope you have much success. And I hope we get a chance to do this again and everybody's, the same way, you know what I mean? We'd have made a little extra change and we had a little more fun and do this one more time, man. Once again, thanks, man. Really appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I'll see you all soon.